people over there at the Public Works, but I leave that up to you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Greg.
I can throw in a little bit of perspective on the disaster relief, having lots of friends and relatives who live in the affected areas. And while yes, it's a very nice thing to have the village hall set up, the thing that people were most appreciative were taking a shower. Having, a place to sleep was nice, but taking a shower, having, a warm place is much more appreciative. I think the Public Works building is much more better equipped to handle a group of people if we were going to do disaster relief. We'd have a full warm shelter over here. So I do agree that the Public Works building should take priority, because then we can get our equipment out to help clear roads and do whatever it is we need to do.
There is the option to do both at once. It's not necessarily what I'm recommending. There's nothing that says we can't do both at once. That's on the table.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, if we're talking about 6 months difference, whether we approve both of them now, or one now and one when our May budget starts, and we know for sure that we want to get it because we think it's really critical that we have 2 generators, then it doesn't make any sense to wait. If this is something that we have determined that both of these things are needed, and we're only debating which one is now and which one is in May, I don't see the point in.
Well, the question is it even not, is the next one in May? Is the next one a year out? I mean, is the next one,
Do we have the money?
do we do one in the May budget, and do we do one in the budget after that, the year after that? So,
There's another way to look at this too. If, let's say, we put one in Public Works, we could work up a contingency plan for transferring our office work over there.
I have a question for Eric now that he's sitting down. You don't have to get back up.
Actually, there's something else. There was another issue that I thought of.
All right, but do we need that much stationary power at this building to run this building?
Actually, yes, you do. And the reason why I say that is because right now this building is a 400 amp service. Basically, with a 48 kW generator, you'll be able to get 194 amps out of. So if I had to imagine this building on full load, air conditioners, all the rest of the stuff, you're probably approaching 100 to 150 amps. So I would hate to cut your throat. And the difference between the next size lower is really only hundreds of dollars.
That just seemed like an awful lot of power to run this operation.
It's the same order at Public Works too. You don't really have much over there either.
I mean, you could put,
But you have the capacity to run. But I'm saying over here, you're going to put that much power here, and I know you.
well, let me ask, again, I'm wondering if, it's a shame Mike Benko couldn't be here tonight, but because there's a couple EMA questions that are critical that you touched on while with going to the plan. Yes, we do have other sheltering things, but those have never been very ideal. It's what we've got, the school is limited in its backup power.
They don't have a generator.
So,
No. Nor does Avon.
And they're going to be
Well, they're the designated shelter for us.
because they're the closest
Space.
thing that we have. I mean, this has always been an issue of discussion back when we formed EMA, when it was called ESDA back in '97. Is that, the closest shelters aren't the most ideal. So we don't want to rely on those. So the question is, what would best accommodate our emergency needs? So I don't know if we're even fully prepared, as much as I would like to give Eric an answer. I think we definitely have to do something, but if there's still a debate about which building and whether it's coming out of this budget or May 1st budget, do we need to table this to the January meeting?
My question is, how critical do you feel we need this? I mean, if you're talking about one in the next budget and the one in 2014, then it doesn't sound to me like you're seeing this as a high priority thing we have to do. If you are saying that it is a high priority thing we have to do, then let's do it and do both of them and be done with it. I mean, we have to decide how important it is. If it's really important, then what are we waiting 6 months for or another year and a half? If it isn't that important, why are we bothering to do anything?
I think if we do, as I suggested moments ago, I think if we do one and then look at some way of transferring our operation, our village hall operation over there in an emergency situation, we might not need to at all. I don't know how other people feel about it. I have one other idea I'd like to throw out. Could we just take a straw vote now to indicate which building, see where the board stands, which building should be done first? Because if we have a majority, one way or the other, that might give us some direction. Straw vote only.
Can I hear some
Well,
reasons why
well-
we should do this building first? I haven't heard any.
Well, I was just going to say, it would be interesting to poll the staff. Jeff, from a public works standpoint, how do you feel? I think I know how you feel, but again, let's,
Well-
for the record.
Public Works Superintendent, obviously, everybody's gonna think I want mine done. There's reasons. We, the village, and as elected officials and staff, we have to be in a situation where we are able to take care of our residents should something bad happen. And everybody knows how strange the weather has been lately. We may get no snow, 3 weeks from now, we could be 6 feet under snow. I mean, the situations are changing. I think that this village should be responsible to have a facility to say, listen, we have a major power outage, to have a shelter where we can have Red Cross come in and set up cots. We're gonna be able to have equipment, all of the Dave Schultz equipment that's in there, the end loaders, the trucks, to be able to go out there and start recovering, get the debris removed, so we can get EMS, fire, so we can start recovering to help the residents out. Again, the space is an issue. If it comes down to, as Trustee Dale was mentioning, if we had to move the actual brains of the village and the operations of the village hall next door, I think it would be easier. I think it makes more sense to have it generated there because there's so many more possibilities for the residents there than there are here. I mean, that's my take.
And now I'm going to throw it to the other two employees that we have here, which we have the treasurer, we have the village clerk.
I agree that residents come first, shelter comes first. So I agree that the public works building over there should go, with the generator first. You take care of that, and then after things smooth out a little bit, then we worry about getting stuff over there, or not even getting the stuff over there, putting a little small generator over here and operate it a little bit, what we technically need, We don't need much to get by for the interim. To move an office over there, just thinking, you'd have to set it up for networking if you're gonna bring all the workstations over there. There's DSL over there right now. We have Wi-Fi here. So there's a lot of little intricacies that would need to be taken place. The phone system is here. How easy is it to go over there? And it's a question for you. I mean, it's all hooked up in our server room and everything here. But I feel if we have a generator on the server-ish, we have a battery backup on it now and everything, and it can last, a good period of time. I think we just put a generator there for the server. We just up and run one computer, maybe if needed, with the phone system going. During that time, we're not gonna be sitting there going, oh, I gotta get this project done, or I gotta get this project done.
And could we forward the phone system and what we would be forwarding it to?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I feel the most need is over there for the capacity, for the residents, for COPS, for the Red Cross.
And I think those are things that could be done. I mean, who knows if we're gonna have phone lines?
Right.
What,
is in the EOC that makes that building critical right now? Is what and I don't know, I haven't been over there in a while, so I don't know.
I mean, nothing that can't easily be moved.
Nothing that can't easily be moved. It's basically radios, computers, street maps, operations boards that list the timeline so that we can document the incident so that we can start doing and preparing the proper paperwork so that we can go to FEMA, so we can go to the state for disaster assistance immediately as the incident starts to unfold. That's basically what the EOC does.
And that can actually be anywhere.
All right, I want to hear a comment from our clerk. We haven't heard from the village clerk yet.
We can.
Microphone.
We were talking a little about this yesterday, and I feel very strong. I kind of concur with Kelly. I feel strong that public works should be for the residents, but honestly, working here and what we have to do, I just can't see having probably to come back and forth to the buildings because our offices are set up here. And our command area would be here and the phone system. So
Well, the thing to keep in mind is when you're emergency mode, it's not going to be business as usual.
right.
You're going to be running to, you're going to be executing emergency papers. Kelly's going to be executing emergency expenditures. That's basically the mode we're going to be in, and all regular business goes on the back burner.
And that's assuming that everybody can get here.
Well, yes, and that's, the odds of quite frankly, Kathy or Kelly being able to get her immediately also.
Well, the thing is too, both Kathy and I have the capability to remote in.
Yes.
To our workstation.
To our
home.
computer system. Yeah.
So as long as the server
Only if
is
the
up.
server is up.
Right, if someone can get here, and if the server's not up, they can get it up, and then we can communicate from home.
Generator, I can walk here, it's not that big.
All right, well, I would like to move on because again, we have other people in the audience. So,
I make a motion to award the bid to Chris Electric as presented for both the main and alternative bid.
I'm sorry, I didn't make it second.
I second. Do them both now.
do them both now?
Yeah.
Jerry Daly said that?
Yes.
I second.
Roll call.
Trustees,
Aye.
Darrenowski,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
Duberstadt,
Aye.
Barrett,
Aye.
Daly,
Aye.
and Walkington.
Okay, next item up. Hopefully these gentlemen, we haven't put them to sleep in the back. We have a motion to accept the advanced disposal, formerly known as Veolia, they've had another name change, residential hauling proposal for a 5-year contract. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Discussion.
Discussion?
Another question, Kelly.
Microphone.
How do these
Microphone, nobody can hear it.
how do these compare with what we're paying now?
How does the,
Substantially cheaper.
Yeah.
It's less?
it's less
Know what
money.
your bill is?
Well, thanks to sign on
Yeah.
This is the one,
significant of
We're paying.
they're doing unlimited service for $16.98, and it's less. We pay Veolia more now than what this figure is. They reduced the yard-based stickers. They're by a quarter, so they're $2.25 here. And I just want to, and the senior discount still applies to this, from my understanding.
Yes, 10%.
thank you.
Okay.
Two quick questions. First of all, my family is very proactive on recycling, and our presently sized recycling bin is always stuffed full. We're jumping up and down on top of it to get more into it. And our trash receptacle is probably half full, so we're not putting a lot